Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So we were talking about a lot of maintenance that you were doing on your washers and your dryers inside your home. You also have to remember to do the same type of thing on the outside of your house as well. So this is your dryer vent. You can see ours is going right now. And you want to make sure that you don't have a lot of lint buildup or it's blocked or anything like that, because this is really, this is the reason it needs to vent out of your house is it basically needs to have a place where you can get, all the air out of it and things like that. And when you're doing that, you want to make sure that this is clear. So this is what you don't want. Highly flammable and that sort of thing. So if it gets built up a lot, you do not want this. I got my dryer running right now so I can show you. When you start, you want to make sure this gets really cleaned out. And especially, like this one's a little bit, got some dings in it and things like that. That's where you're going to get a lot of lint buildup. And you don't want that. And so you can do a couple things with this. One is, you can reach in there as much as you can, but I always like to have it on because it'll blow out some of the stuff when it gets a little bit loose. So just run your dryer, and the more you can get out of there, the better you're going to be. I'm going to get up a little bit so I don't get it in my eyes, but you can reach in there and get it. A lot of times they'll have a screen on it and things like that as well, but basically you want to get that as cleaned out as you possibly can. Lint is one of the biggest causes of fires in houses and that sort of thing, so you want to make sure you don't have lint buildup. This, like I said, lint is highly flammable, so you don't want that. And do a couple things. One is I'd probably turn it off, run some things in here, make sure it gets you get as cleaned out as you possibly can, and then turn it on, make sure you blow out anything that's loose. So you're going to want to do this a couple times a year and get as much of that out of there as you possibly can, just to keep things safe for your home. And the other thing too is a lot of times you can get at Home Depot, or you can get at Lowe's, you can get something that's like a brush or something like that you can put on the bottom of or you can put on a drill, and you can just kind of clean it out with it. Or I've seen people do this before too. I don't know if I would do it or not, but you get the brushes that you clean out your toilet with. Get a clean one from Depot, and it fits in there really nicely, and it'll loosen a lot of the dirt around it, and it'll start, so you can, it'll clean out some of those pipes and stuff. So that's really it. Make sure you do this at least a couple times a year, especially make sure you do it before winter and things like that, because and after winter, because sometimes birds like to nest in or try to build a nest inside these, because the warm air in the wintertime is nice for them. So make sure you keep an eye on that as well. You don't want birds and things in there. So the other thing I would suggest is there's a lot of these, like we don't have a screen on ours, right? There's a flap, and then when it's not blowing, the flap will close. But you do not want to get bugs and things like that in there. So this is kind of an older vent that's on this one. So sometimes they'll have a screen on there, or they'll have like a grate on there, a plastic grate on there. A lot of them come as a plastic, or this one's like a kind of an aluminum one. But a lot of times they'll have a grate on there, and you were going to want that, right? But you're going to have to pop that off and that sort of thing to get in there. Ours doesn't have that. This is an older one, so ours doesn't have that. But those are good to have, because if you don't want to get mice up there, if it's closer to the ground, if you don't want to get birds in there, that sort of thing, it's good to have it kind of covered so birds can't nest in there, or you can't get other little animals and creatures in there. So that's it. Subscribe to our channel. Make sure you get this cleaned out. Again, this is highly flammable. You're gonna, if you lit a match with that, it will start a fire. And so lint is highly flammable, causes a lot of fires in homes every year. You want to make sure this is nice and cleaned out. And the more you can get in there, the further you can get in there to clean it out, the better you're going to be. The other thing you might want to try is you can get the brushes and that sort of thing for a shop vac, right? So if you don't want a big mess out there and you don't whatever, use a shop vac, kind of get it in there. It's going to be a little bit hard to get something to bend in there, but they make some of those bendable connections that you can get for your shop vac as well. So get it cleaned out, make sure you're safe, do it at least every couple, probably twice a year at least. Okay, so if this tip has helped you, super thanks goes a long way. A cup of coffee is always nice. And hopefully it helps you make sure you keep your home safe and keeps you a little bit healthier and that sort of thing from a fire or other things that could happen to your house. So we'll see you next time. Subscribe to my channel, please, as well. Thanks. Bye.